We take you now to Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Congress of the United States meets today, the beginning of the first session of the 75th Congress. We're speaking to you from the floor of the House of Representatives in the United States Capitol Building in Washington, D.C. In just a moment, you will hear the sound of the gavel as the Clerk of the House calls the representatives together, preliminary to the business of organizing for this year's legislative work. The Honorable South Kimball Trimble, Clerk of the House.
The House would please stand while the chaplain of the 74th Congress offers flag.
Almighty God, our Father in heaven, and our Father upon earth, thou who hast measured the waters in the hollow of his hands, and comprehended the dust of earth, be mercifully near us at this time, and make us conscious of thy holy presence. Thou who hast endowed us with marvelous faculties of mind and soul, let in a flood of light upon the deeper meaning of our high calling. Crown us with zeal, with courage, and fidelity, that we may be in the company of those immortals who live in human lives made better. Forgive, O Lord, our selfish joys and our selfish sorrows, and may we consecrate our best selves to everything that is worthy. We most fervently pray that our President may be attended by thy mercy, truth, and grace. Let thy Spirit come mightily with rich blessings upon our Speaker and upon every member of this Congress, that they may be guided by the very highest conceptions of right and duty. O Lord God of hosts, speak thou to the nations in thy sore displeasure. Stay thou the blows and the flames that fill the cup of the world's sufferings. Come thou to our own beloved land with a new voice, with a much-needed accent, until there is a tremendous surging of peace and brotherhood at the very soul of our republic. Make it rich in happy homes, wise statesmanship, and in an abounding faith in an infinite God our Father, and in Jesus Christ our Lord and our Savior. Amen.
House would please be in order.
You've heard the Clerk of the House of Representatives, the Honorable South Trimble, call the House to order with a prayer by the Reverend James Sherrill Montgomery, Chaplain of the House. The Clerk is now rapping for order in order that the clerks, the reading clerks, that is, may call the roll by states. At precisely the same time that the clerk called the House of Representatives to order, the Vice President of the United States, who presides over the Senate, called the upper house to order, and once more the wheels of the legislative branch of our government began to turn. The clerk is still rapping for order, and as soon as the members take their seats, the roll call will start.
This is the day fixed by law, enacted pursuant to the 20th Amendment to the Constitution, for the meeting of the 75th Congress. The clerk of the House of Representatives of the 74th Congress will call the names of those persons whose credentials show that they were regularly elected as representatives in accordance with the laws of their respective states or of the United States. As the roll is called, following the alphabetical order of the states, representatives-elect will please answer present to their names to determine whether a quorum is present. The clerk will proceed with the call.
Alabama, Frank W. Boykin, Lister Hill, Henry B. Seagull, Sam Hobbs, present. Joe Starnes, Pete Sharman, present. William B. Bankhead, present. John J. Sparkman, present. Luther Patrick, present. Arizona, at large. John R. Murdoch, present. Arkansas, William J. Driver, present. John E. Miller, present. Lord A. Fuller, present. Ben Craven, David D. Cherry, present. John L. McClellan, present. Wade Hampton Kitchens, present. California, Lance F. Lee, present. Harry Engelbreit, present. Frank H. Buck, present. Francis R. Havana, present. Richard J. Wells, present. Albert E. Carter, here, present. John H. Tolan, John J. McGrath, Tolan's here. John J. McGrath, Bertrand W. Gearhart, present. Henry E. Stubbs,
Yeah.
John Stephen McGroarty, present. H. Jerry Voorhees, present. Charles Kramer, present. Thomas F. Ford, present. John M. Costello, present. John F. Stockweiler, present. Charles J. Colden, present. Vernon Scott, present. Harry R. Shepard, present. Ed B. Isaac, present. Colorado, John Stewart, present. Ed Cummings, present. John A. Martin, here, present. Edward T. Taylor, present. Connecticut, Herman B. Copperman, William J. Fitzgerald, present. James A. Shanley, Dan Phillips, Jr., present. A. Joseph Smith, present. Lodge, William M. Citron, Delaware, William F. Allen, Florida, A. Hardin Peterson, Robert A. Green, Willard F. Caldwell, J. Mark Wilcox, Joe Hendricks, Georgia, Peterson Jr., E. Cox. Stephen Page. E. M. Owen. Robert Ramspeck. Carl Vincent. Malcolm C. Carver. Russell D. Dean. D. Frank Wetzel. All Brown. Idaho. Upton I. White. E. Wade Clark. Illinois. Arthur W. Mitchell. Raymond S. McKeo. McKeo here. Edward A. Kelly. Harry C. Deep. Randolph D. Sabbath. Thomas K. O'Brien. Leonard W. Shute. Theo Kostkowski. James McAndrews. President. Lyle C. Church. Dr. W. Reed. Noah M. Mason. Leo E. Allen. Mr. Thompson. Lewis L. Boyer. President. Evans M. Dixon. Present. Leslie T. Aaron. Present. James A. Meek. Hugh M. Wrigley. Present. Wrigley. Mark W. Lopez. Frank W. Priest. Edward M. Schaefer. Don D. Arnold. Paul D. Parson. Tim D. Keller. Lodge. Lewis M. Long. Edmund B. Champion. Present. Diana. M.D. Schultz. Present. Paul D. Halleck. Samuel B. Catskill. Present. James I. Hawley. Glenn Griswold. Virginia E. Chang. Present. Arthur H. Greenwood. John W. Bainey. Jr. Present. Eugene B. Crow. Here. Finley H. Gray. Present. William H. Slattery. Present. Lewis Ludlow. Iowa. Edward C. Ica. William S. Jacobson. Present. John W. Gwynn. Present. Fred Bierman. Present. White Person. H.S.C. Dowell. Hope C. Wedded. F.C. Gilchrist. Present. Vincent Harrington. Mendez. W.P. Lamberton. U.S. Fire. Edward W. Patterson. Edward H. Reed. John M. Houston. Frank Carlton. Theodore Hope. Kentucky. Noble J. Gregory. Present. Emmett O'Neill. Present. Edward W. Creel. Brent Spence. Richard Chapman. Present. Andrew J. May. Present. Fred M. Vincent. John M. Robson. Present. Louisiana. J.O. Fernandez. Present. Oleg Maloney. Present. Robert L. Mouton. Here. Overton Brooks. Youth P. Mills.
Here.
Present. Tom K. Griffith.
Here.
Present. Whitney L. Derwin. Present. C. Leonard Allen.
Here.
C. James C. Oliver. Present. Clyde H. Smith. Present. Ralph O. Brewster. Present. Maryland. C. Allen Goldwater.
Here.
Present. C. Cole Jr. Present. Vincent L. Palmisano. Present. Ambrose J. Kennedy. Stephen W. Gambrill. Present. David J. Lewis. Present. Massachusetts Alan T. Treadway. Present. All North Pleasant. All North Pleasant. Joseph E. Casey. Present. C.G. Holmes. Edith Nurse Rogers. Ford J. Bates. William P. Connery Jr. Arthur D. Healy. Robert Lewis. George Holton, Kingstown. John P. Higgins. John W. McCormick. W. McCormick. Mr. B. Wigglesworth. McCormick. Brother W. Martin, Jr. Present. Charles L. Gifford. Michigan. George K. Sadowski. Charles D. Mitchener. Paul W. Schaefer. Jerry Hoffman. Paul E. Meek. Andrew J. Sanjo. Jesse P. Walcott. Red L. Crawford. Here. Present. Albert J. Engel. Here. Present. Roy O. Woodruff. Present. John Lukey. Present. Frank E. Hook. Present. George C. O'Brien. Present. George C. Raybaugh. Present. John D. Dingell. Present. John Lasinski. Present. George A. Dondito. Here. Present. Minnesota. August A. Tanzison. Elmer J. Ryan. Present. Henry G. Teagan. Melvin J. Moss. Jimmy W. Johnson. Here. Present. Paul Knudsen. Here. Present. Paul J. Colley. John T. Paul J. Colley. John T. Bernard. Present. Mr. Thompson. Butler. He's present. All right. Johnny, Mississippi. Johnny Rankin. Yeah. Present. Paul Duffy. Yeah. William M. Whittington. Yeah. A.L. Ford. Yeah. Ross A. Cullen. Yeah. Present. William M. Colmer. Yeah. Dan R. McGehee. Yeah. Present. Zodi. Mr. Dane Rumju. Here. Present. William L. Nelson. Here. Present. Mr. M. Duncan. Present. C. Jasper Bell. Present. Joseph B. Shannon. Present. Newman T. Wood. Present. Dewey Short. Here. Clyde Williams. Here. Lawrence Cannon. Present. Orville Zimmerman. Here. Present. Thomas D. Henning, Jr. Thomas D. Henning, Jr. The Arthur his son. John J. Cochran. Present. Montana. Jerry J. O'Connell. John F. O'Connor. Present. Ruska. Henry T. Lucky. Charles F. McLaughlin. Charles Stephen. Charles G. Pindrup. Harry B. Coffey. Rhoda. James G. Kruger. Present. I'm here. Arthur B. James. Charles W. Toby. Toby and Jesse. Charles A. Wolverton. Present. Elmer H. Sweeney. Present. William H. Sutphin. Present. Elaine Powers. Present. Charles A. Eaton. Present. Donald H. McLean. Present. J. Cornell Thomas. Roger Digger. Present. Edward A. Kenny. Fred A. Hartley, Jr. Edward L. O'Neill. Frank W. Towey, Jr. Present. Eddie T. Norton. Present. Edward J. Hart. Present. Mexico, John J. Dempsey. Present. New York, Robert L. Bacon. Present. William B. Barry. William B. Barry. Joseph L. Pfeiffer. Thomas H. Cullen. Present. Oscar H. Evans. Andrew L. Summers. J. Delaney. Donald L. O'Toole. Eugene J. Keogh. Emmanuel Stella. James A. O'Leary. Samuel Dickstein. Timothy Sullivan. Clive Kirovich. John J. Boylan. John J. O'Connor. Present. Theodore A. Kaiser. Martin J. Kennedy. Paul Bloom. James J. Lanzetta. James J. Lanzetta. Jose Galligan. Present. Edward W. Cully. Paul V. Buckley. James M. Fitzpatrick. Early. Patrick. Present. Paul D. Millard. Hamilton Fish Jr. Philip A. Goodwin. E. Barnes. E. Hall. E. Barnes. Present. E. Hall Stewart. Frank Brother. Present. Bertie H. Snell. Absentee Culkin. Reverend J. Douglas. Rick Lord. John C. Hancock. John Tabor. Stelling Cole. John B. Kelly. James W. Wadsworth. Walter Ray. Walter G. Andrews. Alfred F. Spider. James L. Meade. Daniel A. Reed. Reed is there. James M. Meade. Matthew J. Merrick. Present. Caroline O'Day. Present. North Carolina. Lindsay T. Warren. John H. Carr. M.A. Morgan. Arnold D. Cooley. Mike Hancock. William B. Umstead.
Is that a member?
J. Brian Stark. J. Walter Lambert. Robert L. Darton. Alfred L. Bullwinkle. Evelyn Weaver.
I thought he was a clerk.
Evelyn Weaver. Coda. William Lemke. Arthur L. William Lemke. Arthur L. Bardick. Moya. Joseph A. Dixon. Robert S. Bigelow. Brian B. Holland. Present. Michelle Globe. Frank D. Lippin. James G. Polk. Austin W. Hillshire. Rick Witter. John F. Hunter. C. Jenkins. Paul C. Claypool. Austin P. Lamnick. Rodney A. White. W. Hunter. Robert T. Seacrest. Lamar Tom. A. Iceberg. On C. Imhoff. J. Kerwin. Martin L. Sweeney. Robert Crosser. A. Speaker. Marge. John McSweeney. Paul G. Mosier. Oklahoma. Westy Disney. Jack Nichols. Wilburn Cartwright. Riley Warren. Robert P. Hill. Jed Johnson. Sam C. Mattengale. Neil Ferguson. Manny Wood, Honeyman. Pennsylvania, Leo Sack. James P. Granary. Michael J. Bradley. Dan Barwood Daly. Frank J. G. Galsey. Michael J. Stack.
That is over us to get that new set of teeth.
Fire Walton Drew. Present. James Wolfman Den. Present. Oliver W. Fry. J. Roland Kinta. Patrick J. Boland. J. Hall Flannery. James H. Gilday. Guy Almoza. Albert G. Rutherford. Robert S. Rich. Robert S. Rich. J. William Ditter. Benjamin S. Pope. Guy J. Pope. Benjamin Jarrett. Benjamin Jarrett. Francis D. Walter. Harry L. Hayes. John Gingery. Xavier Snyder. Paul J. Pettit. Charles R. Eckert. Joseph Gray. Joseph Gray. Robert G. Allen. Charles H. Crosby. Peter J. D. Moose. James L. Quinn. Herman C. Eberharter. Henry Ellenbogen. Matthew A. Dunn. Amy J. Horan. Rhode Island. Amy J. Horan of Rhode Island. John M. O'Connell of Rhode Island. North Carolina. Thomas S. Macmillan. Hampton P. Fulmer. John C. Taylor. D. Edward Nahon, Jr. James B. Richards. Allard H. Gatsby. South Dakota. Ed H. Hildebrand. Francis H. Scott. He's here anyway. Steve. Carl Reed. J. Will Taylor. Sam D. McReynolds. Donald Mitchell. Mr. David Kingston. John W. Turner. Helen Pearson. Jerry Cooper. Walter Chandler. Texas. Mike Patman.
Oh, Billy.
Martin Dave.
Family. Fine, thanks.
Any more G. Sanders. And Raymond.
All right.
Here. Dr. Sumner. Mr. Ray Johnston. Matt Hutton. Robert Thomas. J. Mansfield. James P. Buchanan. William R. Old. G. Lanham. G. McFarland. M. Berg. Next West. Yeah. Oh, you ain't coming down. There. I have got it. I have got it. Mama Jones. George Mahon. Holy Maverick. Yeah. Convenes South. Utah. Eight Murdoch. Eight Will Robinson. Vermont. Floyd. All day Conley. Virginia. Tiger Otis Plan. Very quiet. Commodore Hamilton. Henry J. Montague. Henry Gurley. Thomas G. Bird. Nay Woodrum. A. Willis Robinson. Howard W. Smith. John W. Flanagan Jr. Washington. Warren T. Magnuson. Present. Conrad Waldron. Martin F. Smith. Hill. Present. Charles H. Levy. John M. Coffey. Present. West Virginia. Robert L. Ramsey. Jennings Randolph. Ramsey here. Yeah, both here. Andrew Edmiston. Present. George W. Johnson. Present. John Key. Present. Joel Smith. Present. Wisconsin. Thomas R. Amley. Harry Sotoff. Gardner R. Sotoff. Gardner R. Withrow. Raymond J. Cannon. Present. Thomas O'Malley. Michael K. Riley. Charlie J. Boileau. Present. George J. Snyder. Present. Marilyn Hall. Present. Werner J. Grierman. Present. Wyoming, Paul R. Griever. Present. Call him over here? No.
He's in order. No, it's just establish a quorum. That's all. There's no record.
The Clerk of the House of Representatives, the Honorable South Kimball, again calls the House to order.
The quorum is present. I want to say to the members who want to ask present now, there's no record of this vote. The only object in calling the roll was to establish legally a quorum present. I didn't think the House didn't take it.
I should think you'd allow us to be noted present nevertheless.
The members who did not answer to the roll during the first roll call have now come into the well of the House and are asking the clerk that their names be recorded as having been present during this roll call. And the clerk is stating that it is not necessary, that there is no record of this vote other than that a quorum be present. However, he has directed the reading clerk, Mr. Patrick J. Haldigan, to recall the names of those who did not answer when their names were called during the first roll call.
Frank W. Boykin. Mr. Hill. Present.
You've heard this first roll call of the House of Representatives at this opening session of the 75th Congress, called by the veteran reading clerk of the House, Mr. Haltigan. We have broadcast the roll call in full, believing that inasmuch as it is part of the regularly scheduled procedure of the House of Representatives, it would be of interest to our radio audience. While the clerk recalls the names of those members who did not answer to their names, we'll interrupt the floor proceedings to tell you that during this broadcast this morning over the networks of the National Broadcasting Company, you'll hear the election of the presiding officer of the House, the Speaker. Hear him address the House and hear him take the oath of office. At the present time, the Speaker's chair is vacant. The Clerk of the House, who is presiding for the opening only, the Honorable South Trimble of Kentucky, 14 years Clerk of the House, is seated at the Clerk's desk, which is immediately below and in front of the Speaker's desk. Our NBC microphones have been placed on the white marble Speaker's desk, on the reading clerk's desk, and in the well of the House, that you may hear the remarks of the individual members. Over those microphones, you've heard them answering to their names as they were called during the roll call. Microphones have also been placed on the committee tables of the majority and minority leaders, which serve as focal points for the important work done on the floor of the House. Last year, the President of the United States addressed the joint Congress on the opening day, or at night, as you'll probably recall. But due to the additional work required of the House in organizing itself this year, the President will wait until tomorrow afternoon to give his report on the State of the Union and to make his recommendations for legislation which he believes to be necessary. His address will be broadcast in full over the combined networks of the National Broadcasting Company. The United States Senate is a continuing body. That is, its organization, including the presiding officer and other officers and employees, are continued from year to year. And from the moment it is called to order on the opening day, as it was at 12 o'clock noon today, it's ready to begin its work. But not so in the House. Every member of the lower body must stand for re-election each 2 years. And each new Congress brings the need for reorganization, including the election of Speaker and other officers. So today, during this broadcast, you'll hear the representatives and officers of the House take their oaths of office. The members are still gathered in the well of the House, those who were not present during the first roll call, and Mr. Haltigan is calling off the names of the absentees in order that those who have come into the House since may now be recorded as having been present. We notice on the floor of the House today all of the members of the women's contingent in the House. We see seated on the front row Mrs. Mary Norton of New Jersey, Dean of the Women's Group in the House. She's dressed in black today with huge orchids at her shoulder. And various secretaries of the congressmen and officials of the House are grouped around the rear seats. The whole chamber is illuminated by a battery of high-powered movie lights. Newsreel men up in the public gallery, and the cameramen, still cameramen, scattered around through the galleries, making pictures for their newspapers and for their newsreel companies of this opening session of the 75th Congress. It seems that all of the lady members of the House are dressed in black today. We see Mrs. Caroline O'Day just beginning her second term in Congress. And Mrs. Nan W. Honeyman, the new member from Oregon. And Mrs. Edith Nurse Rogers, the only Republican woman member of Congress, seated over on our side of the House chamber with her Republican colleagues, also with an orchid today. And Mrs. Virginia Jenks, the member of Congress from Indiana, dressed in black with a very lovely corsage of gardenias, shoulder corsage. Mr. Haltigan is still calling the roll, recalling, we should say, for those who were not present during the first roll call.
All right. William I. Stirovich. Present. John J. Boylan.
During the 15 or 30 minutes prior to 12 o'clock noon, when the House was called to order, The members were gathering here on the floor of the House, meeting their old friends of previous sessions and getting acquainted with the new members who were elected in the general election in November to serve their congressional districts for 2 years. The galleries are completely filled today, including the aisle seats, and they seat altogether about 600 and are filled with the families and guests of the members. Over on the opposite side, in the Speaker's gallery, we see Mrs. William B. Bankhead, wife of the gentleman who will probably, in fact, unquestionably, be elected Speaker of the House today. The 20th or lame duck amendment to the Constitution designates January 3rd as the opening day for each new session of Congress, but when the 3rd falls on Sunday, it's necessary to provide for another meeting day, and in this case it was set for today, January 5th, by a law passed during the last session. However, and it's very important to the members, they do go on the payroll as of noon, January 3rd, the day set by the 20th Amendment to the Constitution. One of the most important features of our broadcast this afternoon will be the brief address of the Speaker following his election. The gentleman who's going to preside over the House during the 75th Congress is the Honorable William B. Bankhead, illustrious member of Congress from Alabama. He's been a member of the House for 20 years and served as Speaker during the closing weeks of the last session, having been unanimously elected to succeed the late Speaker Burns, who died very suddenly during the session. Representative Bankhead was chosen by his party in their secret caucus yesterday afternoon to be its candidate for presiding officer. And with the enormous majority now held in the House by the Democratic Party, his election is a certainty. At the present time, he's seated over on the Democratic side of the House, right near some of the other Democratic leaders at the table of the majority leader. The Republicans are expected to nominate the Honorable Bertrand H. Snell, member of Congress from New York, and for many years the minority floor leader, to be their candidate for Speaker of the House. And for the office of Speaker, the Farmer Labor Party and the Progressives in the House will present as their coalition candidate the Honorable George J. Snyder, progressive member of Congress from Wisconsin. It's about 6 months since Congress adjourned, but now it's a new year, a new Congress, and time to start carrying out the wishes of the constituents back home in enacting new legislation. And now, Mr. Haltigan, the reading clerk of the House, one of the reading clerks, he's assisted by Mr. A.E. Chaffee, who also serves in that capacity. Mr. Haltigan is concluding the recall of the names of the members who did not answer present during the first roll call, and we're going to turn you back once more to the reading clerk, and just as soon as this roll call is completed, you will hear again the voice of the Honorable South Kimball, Clerk of the House, who will preside until a new Speaker has been elected.
Get some loose? Yeah, I got a mark call. Utah, hey, Murdoch. Get me? All right. Joseph J. Mansfield, Texas. He's here. Oh, it's taking so long. Utah, Steve Murdoch. Virginia, Norman R. Hamilton, present. Andrew J. Montague, Patrick Henry Drury, present. Thomas T. Birch, present. Clifton A. Woodruff, present. E. Willis Robertson, present. John W. Flanagan, Jr., present. Call. Washington, Monrad C. Walgren, present.
Now again, in just a moment, the Clerk of the House of Representatives, the Honorable South Kimball. He's rapping for order.
The roll call discloses the presence of 417 members. A quorum is present. The clerk will state that credentials regularly in form have been filed showing the election of Anthony J. Diamond as delegate from the Territory of Alaska and of Samuel W. King as delegate from the Territory of Hawaii. The resident commissioners to the United States from Puerto Rico is elected quadrennially. The clerk has received a certificate of election signed by the governor of Puerto Rico showing the election of Santiago Pantine as such resident commissioner for the term of 4 years beginning January the 3rd, 1937. Since the regular election of representatives to the 75th Congress, one change has occurred, as a result of which a vacancy now exists in the 2nd Congressional District of the state of Kentucky, occasioned by the death of the late Honorable Grover C. Carey. The next business is the election of a speaker to preside over the 75th Congress. Nominations are now in order. Mr. Doughton from North Carolina.
75th Congress. I'm directed by unanimous vote of that caucus to present election of the office Speaker of the House of Representatives, 75th Congress, in the name of the Honorable William D. Bankhead, the state of Alabama.
The name of Honorable William B. Bankhead from the state of Alabama has been placed in nomination. Are there further nominations? Gentleman, Mr. Woodruff of Michigan.
By direction and authority of the Republican Conference, representing the minority in this House, I nominate for the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 75th Congress, the Honorable Reverend James Sherrill, a representative from the state of New York.
The name of Honorable Reverend James Sherrill from the state of New York has been placed in nomination. Are there further nominations?
Clerk.
Mr. Withrow from Michigan. From Wisconsin.
As chairman of the Farmer Labor Progressive Party's conference, I have been directed and I have the authority to present to this body as a candidate for the speakership of the 75th Congress, the Honorable George J. Snyder, a representative from the state of Wisconsin.
The name of Honorable George J. Snyder of Wisconsin has been placed in nomination. Are there further nominations? If none, nominations will be closed. Honorable William B. Bankhead, a representative-elect from the state of Alabama. Honorable Burton H. Snell, a representative-elect from the state of New York. And Honorable George J. Snyder, a representative-elect from the state of Wisconsin, have been placed in nomination. The clerk will now call the roll. And as your names are called, please, as your names are called, you will indicate your choice by declaring their surname. I will appoint as tellers to tally the vote the gentleman, Mrs. Jenks from Indiana, Mr. Martin from Colorado, Mr. Halleck from Minnesota, from Indiana, and Mr. Robson of Kentucky, and Mr. Buckler of Minnesota. The tellers will please come forward and take their position.
Dick, they'll steal this election if you don't watch them. You can't trust those Democrats, you know. Now you watch them.
Now, before beginning the roll call for the election of Speaker, may we tell you that the Senate has adjourned for today. They'll meet again tomorrow. They have concluded their opening day's business and adjourned, waiting for the complete organization of the House of Representatives. Our broadcast continues from the floor of the House of Representatives, coming to you through the National Broadcasting Company, and you're going to hear now the roll call of the House of Representatives on the election of Speaker. You've heard the nominees, the names of the nominees. You've heard them nominated direct from the floor of the House of Representatives. And now the Clerk of the House is getting order, and the vote will proceed.
Give attention while the roll is being called. Please answer when your name is called, your choice, by giving the surname of the one you want to vote for.
You ready? Aylshire. Bankhead. Allen of Louisiana. Bankhead. Allen of Illinois. Snell. Allen of Pennsylvania. Bankhead. Allen of Delaware. Bankhead. Amley. Snyder. Anderson of Missouri. Anderson of Missouri. Bankhead. Andreessen of Minnesota. Andrews. Ahrens. Snell. Arnold. Ashbrook. Arnold. Bankhead. Ashbrook. Bankhead. Atkinson. Bankhead. Bacon. Snell. Barden. Barden. Bankhead. Barry. Bankhead. Bates. Snell. Bean. Bankhead. Biter. Bankhead. Bell. Bankhead. Bernard. Snyder. Bierman. Bankhead. Bigelow. Bankhead. Dinderup. Bankhead. Bland. Bankhead. Bloom. Bankhead. Baney. Bankhead. Boileau. Snyder. Boland. Bankhead. Warren. Bankhead. Boyer. Bankhead. Boykin. Bankhead. Yes. Boykin. Not here. Boylan. Bankhead. Bradley. Bradley. Snyder. Bankhead. Brewster. Brewster. Brooks. Bankhead. Brown. Bankhead. Buchanan. Bankhead. Buck. Bankhead. Buckler of Minnesota. Snyder. Buckley of New York. Buckley of New York. Bullwinkle. Bankhead. Birch. Bankhead. Burdick.
Crawford of Michigan.
Crawford of Michigan. Crawford of Michigan. Yeah. Burns. Ready? Burns. Caldwell. Bankhead. Cannon of Missouri. Bankhead. Cannon of Wisconsin. Bankhead. Carlson. Snell. Cotter. Snell. Cartwright. Bankhead. Pace of South Dakota. Snell. Casey of Massachusetts. Bankhead. Seller. Seller. Champion. Bankhead. Chandler. Bankhead. Chapman. Bankhead. Church. Snell. Citron. Bankhead. Clark of Idaho. Bankhead. Clark of North Carolina. Bankhead. Clayson. Clayson Snell. Seller. Bankhead. Get it? Claypool. Bankhead. Cluett. Snell. Cochran. Bankhead. Coffee of Nebraska. Bankhead. Coffee of Washington. Bankhead. Colden. Bankhead. Cole of Maryland. Bankhead. Cole of New York. Snell. Collins. Collins. Bankhead. Colma. Bankhead. Connery. Bankhead. Cooley. Bankhead. Cooper. Bankhead. Costello. Bankhead. Cox. Bankhead. Cravens. Cravens. Crawford. Snell. Creel. Bankhead. Crosby. Bankhead. Crosser. Crosser. Bankhead. Crow. Bankhead. Crowther. Snell. Culkin. Snell. Cullen. Bankhead. Cummings. Bankhead. Curley. Bankhead. Daly. Bankhead. Dean. Bankhead. Delaney. Bankhead. Dempsey. Bankhead. Demuth. Bankhead. Darrowan. Bankhead. Dickstein. Bankhead. Dice. Bankhead. Dingell. Bankhead. Dirksen. Snell. Disney. Bankhead. Ditter. Snell. Dixon. Bankhead. Duttweiler. Bankhead. Dondero. Snell. Dorsey. Bankhead. Doughton. Bankhead. Douglas. Snell. Dowell. Snell. Doxey. Bankhead. Drew of Pennsylvania. Bankhead. Drury of Virginia. Bankhead. Driver. Bankhead. Duncan. Bankhead. Dunn. Bankhead. Eaton. Eaton. Snell. Eberharter. Bankhead. Eckert. Bankhead. Edmiston. Bankhead. Eicher. Bankhead. Ellenbogen. Bankhead. Engel. Snell. Engelbright. Snell. Evans. Bankhead. Faddis. Bankhead. Farley. Bankhead. Ferguson. Bankhead. Fernandez. Bankhead. Fish. Snell. Fitzgerald. Bankhead. Fitzpatrick. Bankhead. Flanagan. Bankhead. Flannery. Bankhead. Flager. Bankhead. Fletcher. Bankhead. Pope. Snell. Foran. Bankhead. Ford of Mississippi. Bankhead. Ford of California. Bankhead. Fry of Pennsylvania. Bankhead. Freeze of Illinois. Bankhead. Fuller. Bankhead. Fulmer. Bankhead. Gambrill. Bankhead. Garrett of Texas. Bankhead. Gasky. Bankhead. Gavigan. Bankhead. Gerhardt. German. Snyder. Gifford. Snell. Gilt. One down for Snyder. Ready? Gifford. Snell. Gilchrist. Snell. Gildea. Bankhead. Dingery. Bankhead. Goldsboro. Bankhead. Goodwin. Gray of Indiana. Bankhead. Gray of Pennsylvania. Bankhead. Green. Bankhead. Greenwood. Bankhead. Bankhead. Griever. Bankhead. Gregory. Bankhead. Griffith. Bankhead. Bankhead. Griswold. Geyer. Now, Gwynn. Now, Haynes. Bankhead. Halleck. Now, Hamilton. Bankhead. Hancock of New York. Now, Hancock of North Carolina. Bankhead. Harlan. Bankhead. Harrington. Bankhead. Hart of New Jersey. Bankhead. Harter of Ohio. Bankhead. Hartley of New Jersey. Now, Havener. Havener. Bankhead. Healy. Bankhead. Hendricks. Bankhead. Hennings. Bankhead. Higgins. Higgins. Hildebrand. Bankhead. Hill of Alabama. Bankhead. Hill of Oklahoma.
Bankhead.
Bankhead. Hill of Washington. Bankhead. Hobbs. Bankhead. Hoffman. Now, Holmes. Now, Honeyman. Bankhead. Hook. Bankhead. Hope. Now, Houston. Hall. Snyder. Hunter. Bankhead. Bankhead, get it? Imhoff. Bankhead. Isaac. Bankhead. Jacobson. Bankhead. Jarman. Bankhead. Jarrett of Pennsylvania. Now, Jenks of Indiana. Now, Bankhead. Jenks of New Hampshire. Now, Jenkins of Ohio. Now, got that wrong. Johnson of Minnesota. Snyder. Johnson of Oklahoma. Bankhead. Johnson of Texas. Bankhead. Johnson of West Virginia. Bankhead. Jones. Bankhead. Key. Bankhead. Keller. Bankhead. Kelly of Illinois. Bankhead. Kelly of New York. Kennedy of Maryland. Bankhead. Kennedy of New York. Bankhead. Kenny of New Jersey. Bankhead. Keogh. Bankhead. Carr. Bankhead. Kinzer. Now, Kirwan. Bankhead. Kitchens. Bankhead. Clayburg. Bankhead. Globe. Bankhead. Kniffin. Bankhead. Knutson. Now, Kosciuszko. Bankhead. Koppelman. Bankhead. Kramer. Cavalli. Lambert's son. Who was that? Lambert's son of Kansas. Votes for now. Lambeth of North Carolina. Bankhead. Lamneck of Ohio. Bankhead. Lanham of Texas. Bankhead. Lanzetta. Larrabee. Bankhead. Lee. Bankhead. Levy. Bankhead. Lemke. Crawford. Votes for Crawford. two votes now for Crawford. Get him. Blazinski. Lewis of Colorado. Bankhead. Lewis of Maryland. Bankhead. Long. Bankhead. Blazinski. Bankhead. Lord. Now. Yeah. Bankhead. Lord votes now. Lucas. Bankhead. Luce. Mr. Luce. Now. Lucky of Nebraska. Bankhead. Ludlow. Bankhead. Lukey of Michigan. Bankhead. McAndrews. Bankhead. McClellan. Bankhead. McCormack. McFarland. Bankhead. McGehee. McGranary. Bankhead. McGrath. Bankhead. McGroarty. Bankhead. McKeough. Bankhead. McLaughlin. Bankhead. McLean. Nell. Macmillan. Bankhead. McReynolds. Bankhead. McSweeney. Bankhead. Moss. Nell. Magnuson. Bankhead. Mayon, South Carolina. Bankhead. Mayon of Texas. Bankhead. Maloney. Bankhead. Mansfield. Mates. Now, Martin of Colorado. Bankhead. Martin of Massachusetts. Now, Mason. Now, Massengale. Bankhead. Maverick. Bankhead. May. Bankhead. Meade. Bankhead. Meeks. Merritt. Bankhead. Mitchener. Now, Millard of New York. Miller of Arkansas. Bankhead. Mills. Mitchell of Illinois. Bankhead. Mitchell of Tennessee. Bankhead. Montague. Moser of Pennsylvania. Bankhead. Mosier of Ohio. Bankhead. Mott. Mouton. Bankhead. Murdoch of Arizona. Bankhead. Murdoch of Utah. Nelson. Bankhead. Nichols. Bankhead. Norton. Bankhead. O'Brien of Illinois. Bankhead. O'Brien of Michigan. Bankhead. O'Connell of Montana. Bankhead. O'Connell of Rhode Island. Bankhead. O'Connor of Montana. Bankhead. O'Connor of New York. O'Day. Bankhead. O'Leary. Bankhead. Oliver. Now, O'Malley. Bankhead. O'Neill of Kentucky. Bankhead. O'Neill of New Jersey. Bankhead. O'Toole. Bankhead. Owen. Bankhead. Page. Bankhead. Palmisano. Bankhead. Parsons. Bankhead. Patman. Bankhead. Patrick. Bankhead. Patterson. Bankhead. Patton. Bankhead. Pearson. Bankhead. Peterson of Florida. Bankhead. Peterson of Georgia. Bankhead. Pettingill. Pfizer. Pfeiffer. Bankhead. Phillips. Bankhead. Pierce. Bankhead. Plumley. Now, Hogue. Bankhead. Hoke of Ohio. Powers. Now, Quinn. Bankhead. Rabo. Bankhead. Ramsey. Bankhead. Ramspeck. Bankhead. Randolph. Rankin. Both of them. Randolph and Rankin both. Rayburn. Mr. Rayburn. Reese of Tennessee. Now. Reed of Illinois. Now. Reed of New York. Now. Reese of Kansas. Riley. Snell. He goes for Snell. Reese. Riley. Bankhead. Rich. Mr. Snell. Votes for Snell. Richard. South Carolina. Bankhead. Rigney. Bankhead. Robertson of Virginia. Bankhead. Robinson of Utah. Robson of Kentucky. Snell. Rogers of Massachusetts. Snell. Rogers of Oklahoma. Bankhead. Romju. Bankhead. Rutherford. Snell. Ryan. Bankhead. Sabbath. Bankhead. Sack. Bankhead. Sadowski. Bankhead. Sanders. Bankhead. Sawdoff. Snyder. Schaefer of Illinois. Bankhead. Snyder of Wisconsin. Present. Votes present. Snyder votes present. Schultz. Bankhead. Schulte. Bankhead. Scott. Bankhead. Struggham. Bankhead. Seacrest. Bankhead. Seeger. Now, Schaefer of Michigan. Now, Shanley. Bankhead. Shannon. Bankhead. Shepard. Bankhead. Short. Now, Serovich. Bankhead. Smith of Connecticut. Bankhead. Smith of Maine. Now, Smith of Virginia. Bankhead. Smith of Washington. Bankhead. Smith of West Virginia. Bankhead. Snell. Present. Votes present. Snyder of Pennsylvania. Bankhead. Summers of New York. Bankhead. South. Bankhead. Sparkman. Bankhead. Spence. Bankhead. Stack. Bankhead. Starnes. Bankhead. Seagull. Mr. Seagull. Votes for Mr. Bankhead. Mr. Steffen. Votes for Snell. Mr. Stubbs. Sullivan. Bankhead. Sumners of Texas. Bankhead. Sutphin. Bankhead. Sweeney. Bankhead. Swope. Bankhead. Tabor. Snell. Tarver. Bankhead. Taylor of Colorado. Bankhead. Taylor of South Carolina.
Bankhead.
Bankhead. Taylor of Tennessee. Now, Teagan. Teagan. Terry. Teagan. Votes for Snyder. Terry. Mr. Terry. Tom. Bankhead. Thomas of New Jersey. Now, Thomas of Texas. Bankhead. Thomason of Texas. Bankhead. Thompson of Illinois. Bankhead. Thurston. Snell. Tinkham. Tinkham. Snell. Snell. Toby. Snell. Tolan. Bankhead. Toey. Toey. Snell. Bankhead. Fransu. Bankhead. Fredway. Snell. Turner. Bankhead. Umstead. Bankhead. Vinson of Georgia. Bankhead. Vinson of Kentucky. Bankhead. Voorhees. Bankhead. Wadsworth. Now. Waldron. Bankhead. Walter. Walter. Warren. Bankhead. Warren. Bankhead. Weaver. Bankhead. Welch. Snell. Ween. Bankhead. West. Bankhead. Welchel. Bankhead. White of Idaho. Bankhead. White of Ohio. Snell. Whittington. Bankhead. Wigglesworth. Snell. Wilcox. Bankhead. Williams. Bankhead. Withrow. Snyder. Withrow White goes to Snyder. Walcott. Snell. Wolfenden. Snell. Wolverton. Snell. Wood. Bankhead. Woodruff of Michigan. Snell. Woodruff of Virginia. Bankhead. Zimmerman. Bankhead.
The National Broadcasting Company is bringing you a broadcast of the opening session of the 75th Congress. We pause just a moment for station identification.
Andreessen of Minnesota. Andrews. Boykin. Mr. Bankhead.
The National Broadcasting Company is broadcasting to its nationwide radio audience the opening proceedings of the 75th Congress direct from the floor of the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. Mr. A.E. Chaffee, reading clerk of the House, has just called the roll of the House on the election of a Speaker to preside over the House of Representatives during the coming 2 years, the 75th session of Congress. He is now recalling the names of those who did not answer to the first roll call. We return you to the reading clerk, who is situated just below and in front of the Speaker's desk for the recalling of the names of the absentees in the chamber this morning.
Goodwin. Griswold. Griswold for Bankhead. Okay. Higgins. Bankhead. Houston. Bankhead. Kelly of New York. Bankhead. Cavalli. Lanzetta. We got McCormack, didn't we? Oh. McCormack. Bankhead. McGee. Bankhead. Mansfield. Meek. Mr. Meek. Millard. Votes for Snell. Mills. Bankhead. Montague. Murdoch of Utah. Mott. Not here. Murdoch of Utah. O'Connor of New York. Bankhead. Mr. Pettingill. Pettingill. Bankhead. Mr. Pizer. Bankhead. Mr. Polk. Polk of Ohio. Mr. Rayburn. Bankhead. Mr. Rayburn. All right. Mr. Robinson of Utah. Bankhead. Mr. Stubbs. Mr. Terry. Bankhead. Terry Bankhead. Mr. Walter. Mr. Bankhead. And that's all, isn't it? Hogue for Bankhead. Hogue, I think we got you first time. We got you. P.O.8 Clark? Yes, we have you. We have you recorded.
On the first roll call, I ask you to think.
And see if you have Mr. Kneffen. Mr. Vogt. Yeah. Got you.
The recall of the House roll call on the election of Speaker has just been completed, and in just a moment you're going to hear the announcement of the election of the new Speaker to preside over the 75th Congress. Mr. A.E. Chappie, reading clerk of the House, has called the roll. The tally clerks, headed by Hans Jurgensen, chief tally clerk of the House, are now computing the roll call, and in just a moment you're going to hear the announcement about the new Speaker. The candidates were the Honorable William B. Bankhead of Alabama, the Honorable Bertrand H. Snell of New York, and the Honorable George J. Snyder, who was a candidate of the Coalition Farmer Labor Progressive Party in the House. Those three candidates for the speakership of the House of Representatives. A few members who did not answer to their names during the first roll call or the recall have now come up to the desk of the reading clerk and are making their presence known. Their vote for the Speaker of the House. And now the clerk, the tally clerk, is handing the results of the election to the clerk of the House, the Honorable South Kimball, who will arise at the clerk's desk in just a moment and announce the election of the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. Mr. Trimble is now rapping for order.
Please be in order. The tellers agree in that tally. The total number of votes cast is 421, of which the Honorable William B. Bankhead has received 323 votes. Honorable Bertrand H. Snell has received 84 votes. Honorable George J. Snyder has received 10 votes. And Honorable Fred L. Crawford, 2 votes. 2 members vote present. Therefore, Honorable William B. Bankhead, a representative elect from the state of Alabama, having received a majority of all the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 75th Congress. a committee to notify Honorable William B. Bankhead of the state of Alabama of his election to Speaker. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Snell. The gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Snyder. The gentleman from New York, Mr. O'Connor. And the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Stegall. The committee will please perform their service.
You've heard the Clerk of the House of Representatives announce the election of the Honorable William B. Bankhead to be the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. The committee just appointed by him is now leaving the House chamber at the rear and just to the right of the Speaker's desk. And in just a moment, we assume they will return with Mr. Bankhead and escort him to the Speaker's chair. Then you're going to hear an address by the new Speaker, followed by his oath of office, and the proceedings will then go on with the swearing in of all the members of the Congress. The committee appointed by the Clerk of the House to escort the new Speaker to the Speaker's rostrum included the Honorable Bertrand H. Snell of New York, a candidate of the Republican Party for the speakership, the Honorable George J. Snyder of Wisconsin, a candidate of the Farmer, Labor, and Progressive Parties for Speaker, the Honorable John J. O'Connor, member of Congress from New York and chairman of the Rules Committee, and the Honorable Henry B. Stegall, member of Congress from Alabama, a colleague of Mr. Bankhead, who has incidentally served in the House of Representatives for 20 years. There's a little confusion on the House now. The very high-powered movie lights have been turned on in order that the newsreel cameraman may film the entrance of the new Speaker, and we expect that it will take just a moment. The Speaker's office is located on the same floor in the Capitol building as the House chamber itself, and so the committee had only, we believe, to go just through the Speaker's lobby and into his office, and will return escorting him into the House chamber. The National Broadcasting Company is bringing you the opening proceedings of the 75th Congress direct from the floor of the House of Representatives in its entirety. All of the business transacted on the floor of the House this morning has been and will be heard over the networks of the National Broadcasting Company through the microphones which we have placed at strategic points throughout the House chamber. On the desk of the Speaker, the Clerk's desk, 2 microphones in the well of the House, that portion immediately in front of the Speaker's desk, between the Speaker's desk and the other seats, in order that you may hear the remarks of members in the vicinity of those microphones. Additional microphones are placed back through the center aisle and on the committee tables of the majority and minority leaders. It's from those tables that much of the business of the House is conducted, for there sit the majority and minority leaders and the committee chairman having business before the House. And now coming down the center aisle of the House chamber, the committee escorting the new Speaker, the Honorable William B. Bankhead, representative-elect from Alabama, and he is taking his place now at the Speaker's desk. The Honorable Bertrand H. Snell picks up the gavel, and it will be he who will introduce the new Speaker. Mr. Snell.
Members of the 75th Congress, it is my high privilege and honor at this time to present your newly elected Speaker. In my judgment, there is no higher legislative position in the gift of the American people. No man ever rises to this position by mere chance and accident. It is the result of long, hard experience in the House of Representatives. He must also prove to his colleagues that he has the ability, the good, sound judgment to well administer the tedious, exacting duties of Speaker of this House. Mr. Speaker Bankhead, your long service on the Committee on Rules, your successful majority leadership, together
with your fine mental attainments, well equip you to successfully perform the duties of this great office. We know that you will be just and fair to all of us. We also believe that during your service, you will add not only respect and honor to yourself, but to the great party you represent. And at this time, I want to present to you my warm personal congratulations. And in behalf of the membership of the House, your colleagues on each side of the aisle, we wish you every success and happiness in the performance of the duties of your office. To the members of the House, I now have the honor of presenting your Speaker, the Honorable William B. Bankhead, a representative from the state of Alabama. Mr. Speaker.
In the introduction by the Honorable Bertrand H. Snell of New York, he hands the gavel to the new Speaker. The House, with one accord, has risen and are now applauding their new Speaker. Mr. Snell still stands at his side. The new Speaker.
Mr. Minority Leader and members of the 75th Congress, I am, of course, very deeply and very profoundly grateful to my good and beloved friend, the distinguished gentleman from New York, the able minority leader of the last Congress and of this, for the very cordial and complimentary fashion in which he has presented me to you as the Speaker of the 75th Congress. I have been associated with Mr. Snell here in the House of Representatives for a fifth of a century. And although it is not my practice ever to engage in fulsome flattery or praise of any man, I think that all members who have been associated here for a number of years with him will bear testimony to the fact that he is a man of the highest character, of the greatest probity, of fine intellectual capacity, and above all other things, whenever Bert Snell makes a verbal agreement with reference to any parliamentary procedure, it is not necessary to reduce it to writing. And if I may speak in a little vein of reminiscence upon this occasion, I feel very profoundly indebted to him with reference to a certain species of parliamentary education that he taught me. A number of years ago, and it has not been so very long, the Republican Party was in charge of the House of Representatives, and the distinguished gentleman from New York was the chairman of the so-called powerful Committee on Rules. And some of you may have heard in the public prints or up on the floor of this house something about a thing called a gag rule. And when Mr. Snell was chairman of that Republican committee and used to bring in up on the floor of his house so-called gag rules that it appeared to me stripped all minority members of every vestige of their constitutional and parliamentary power,
I was one of the foremost to pour out upon him and his associates the vials of my wrath, and almost felt justified not only in criticizing the rule, but to holding him up to the execration of mankind. And then the tide of political fortunes changed, as they have a habit of doing sometimes in this country, especially in the last few years. And I became chairman of the Committee on Rules. And in order to expedite what we conceive to be some legitimate party programs, I occasionally brought in here, chairman of that committee, some innocent little rules of the same nature, and thereupon the distinguished gentleman from New York, almost in an apoplectic frame of mind, would absolutely tear to pieces that rapine of every parliamentary decency. So I'm reminded of the old Latin maxim, tempora mutanta, nos et mutema in illis. I am in a position here this morning that I undertook to express in the Democratic caucus yesterday afternoon, after my party associates had so generously bestowed upon me the unanimous nomination for this position. I think that I shall repeat that because it expresses my feeling here. No man who has been in public life certainly has not had times come when, after some very great kindness has been bestowed upon him, when he has made the mark of some particular manifestation of regard and esteem upon the part of his associates, he feels absolutely incapable in mere words to express genuinely and truly the emotions of gratitude and appreciation that well up in his heart. And so I find myself in that situation now. I cannot forget, my friends, the very tragical and distressing circumstances under which I succeeded to this place. And I do not think that it will be amiss upon this occasion, although later on adequate memorial services will be held to his memory, to say that out of devotion to his friendship and in admiration for the invaluable public service of my predecessor, the late lamented and beloved Joseph W. Burns, I cannot but feel that somehow and in some way his spiritual presence and his solicitude still abide within these environments. I thank you, my friends, for this generous manifestation of your confidence and of your esteem. I think that it may be properly said that the House of Representatives of the Congress of the United States is certainly one of the greatest deliberative bodies upon the face of this earth. And I fully realize, after long observation of the post, the exactions that fall upon the proper execution of the labors of the Speaker, the amount of diligence that he must exercise, the prudence that he must always observe in his decisions, of the industry that he must apply to the complicated problems of legislation with which
in a large measure, he is confronted, and at the same time to be fair and courteous and equitable, not only to every segment of public opinion in the House, but particularly meticulous and scrupulous in observing the rights of every individual member, particularly those upon the part of the minority side. I realize that some great men have been my predecessors in this position. I fully realize my inadequacy to measure up to their fine abilities and to the noble tradition that they have handed down to those who shall stand in this place. And I think it unwise and improper for any incumbent upon taking office to make too many promises. And I shall withhold making any this morning, save to say to you that I shall, in the performance of this duty and responsibility which you have entrusted to me, at all times endeavor to be just and fair and equitable, and to attempt, to the very utmost of my limited abilities, with the help of God, my Creator, to try to measure up to the illustrious traditions that have been handed down to me by these great predecessors whose portraits hang in this hall. To that end, I ask and I know that I shall receive your generous cooperation upon both sides of the aisle. I am now prepared to take the oath of office, and I request that the Dean of the House, the Honorable A.J. Sabbath of Illinois, administer the oath to the Speaker.
Bankhead, you do solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do. I'll read this statement. Some years ago, a precedent which had theretofore existed of having the oath administered to members by states was discontinued, and the precedent set whereby all members took the oath of office at one and the same time. In order to avoid confusion, the chair thinks it best to follow the latter precedent, and the chair asks each member of the House and each delegate to rise in his place while the chair administers the oath of office. For what purpose does the gentleman from New York rise?
I ask the gentleman to have to interject and decide, despite the fact that the certificate of election has been filed with the Speaker.
What's his name?
It may be impeached by certain facts which tend to show that he has not received a plurality of the duly cast votes in that congressional district.
Gentlemen from New Hampshire will stand aside momentarily. Gentlemen from New York.
I have no objection
letting the gentleman from New Hampshire stand aside at this time, but it was with a definite understanding that he yields none of his rights or privileges as a member of this House or to take the oath of office at this time. The rules and the precedents of this House provide for men that are fully qualified to take the office at the beginning of Congress. Our rules provide that it's necessary for a man to have the duly authenticated certificate from the governor of his state. The gentleman from New Hampshire, Mr. Jenks, has that certificate, and it's been filed with the clerk of the House. The laws of that state provide that a ballot commission is the final adjudicator in regard to these matters. Just a minute, now.
Mr. Speaker, I make a point of order that at this particular time the matter is not debatable.
Well, now, I think you want to be fairly right in this. You've asked this gentleman to stand aside, and I think I have a right to make a reasonable statement. I'm not going to discuss the matter, nor argue the question.
Gentlemen, suspend for a moment. Will both gentlemen...
Go on, allow me to do it now.
Will both gentlemen suspend for a moment? The only request made by the gentleman from New York was that the gentleman holding the certificate of election from New Jersey be stand aside momentarily. The chair is of the opinion that he waives no rights, and just as soon as the other members take the office, we think that the matter will be proceeded with
properly. I think it's perfectly proper that I be allowed to make a reasonable statement this time, and it's always been so considered in the House. But if the Speaker and the gentleman from New York decide that I should not, I relinquish the floor. But I say that I will present a resolution a little later.
The chair will recognize the gentleman later if he desires to extend his argument. All the members and delegates will stand and take the oath of office. Other than the gentleman from New Hampshire. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter. So help you God. Gentleman from New York is now recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I present
Gentlemen, let's suspend. Gentlemen in the rear of the hall will kindly cease conversation. Gentlemen on the right of the chair will kindly cease conversation and take their seat. Public business will not be transacted now nor hereafter until an order in the Chamber.
The Speaker has rapped for order. The Minority Leader of the House has sent to the reading clerk a resolution which will now be presented to the House.
Rear of the hall, kindly cease conversation. Gentlemen, New York.
Mr. Speaker, I only desire about one or two
Just
minutes.
a moment. Does the gentleman offer a resolution?
I offer the
Clerk will report the resolution offered by the gentleman in New York.
Resolution offered by Mr. Snell. Resolved that the gentleman from New Hampshire be now permitted to take the oath of office.
Question is on the adoption of the resolution. Men that are in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted, and the gentleman will present himself to take the oath of office. You solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter. So help you God.
I do.
Gentleman from North Carolina is recognized. Don't read that till we get order in the chamber. Be number 2. House will be in order. Clerk will report the resolution offered to Jackson, North Carolina.
Resolved that South Kimball of the state of Kentucky be and he is hereby chosen the clerk of the House of Representatives. That Kenneth Romney of the state of Montana be and he is hereby chosen Sergeant at Arms of the House of Representatives. That Joseph J. Sinnott of the state of Virginia be and he is hereby chosen doorkeeper of the House of Representatives. That Phineas E. Scott of the state of Tennessee be and he is hereby chosen postmaster of the House of Representatives. And that Reverend James Sherrill Montgomery, D.D., of the District of Columbia, be and he is hereby chosen chaplain of the House of Representatives.
Gentlemen of New York,
I request that this motion be divided and the candidate for chaplain be voted on separately, and that vote be taken first. And after that, I desire to present a substitute resolution.
the gentleman of New York is entitled to request a division. Question is on the election of the Reverend James Sherrill Montgomery as chaplain of the House of Representatives. Many as are in favor of his election will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and he's unanimously elected.
Mr. Speaker, I suggest
Gentleman of New York presents a substitute to the resolution of the gentleman of North Carolina. Clerk will report the substitute.
Resolved that William Tyler Page of the state of Maryland be and he is hereby chosen clerk of the House of Representatives. That Joseph G. Rogers of the state of Pennsylvania be and he is hereby chosen sergeant at arms of the House of Representatives. That John Andrews of the state of Massachusetts be and he is hereby chosen doorkeeper of the House of Representatives. That Frank W. Collier of the state of Wisconsin be and he is hereby chosen postmaster of the House of Representatives.
The question is on the substitute offered for the gentleman from New York. Many as are in favor of its adoption will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. No. Noes appear to have it. Noes have it, and the substitute is not agreed to. The question now recurs upon the resolution offered for the gentleman from North Carolina. Many as are in favor of its adoption will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. And the officer's name will take their places in the well of the House and receive the oath of office. solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter. So help you God.
Thank you.
House will be in order. Gentleman of North Carolina presents a resolution which the clerk will report.
Resolved that a message be sent to the Senate to inform that body that a quorum of the House of Representatives has assembled, that William B. Bankhead, a representative from the state of Alabama, has been elected Speaker, and South Trimble, a citizen of the state of Kentucky, Clerk of the House of Representatives of the 75th Congress.
Question is on the resolution. Members are in favor of its adoption will say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Gentleman from Texas offers the resolution, which the clerk will report.
Resolved that a committee of 3 members be appointed by the Speaker on the part of the House of Representatives to join with the committee on the part of the Senate to notify the President of the United States that a quorum of each House has been assembled and that Congress is ready to receive any communication that he may be pleased to make.
Question is on the resolution. Members are in favor of its adoption will say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is agreed to. The chair appoints as members of the committee to join the like committee of the Senate to wait on the President of the United States, notify him of the quorum of the 2 houses assembled, and Congress is ready to receive any communication that he may be pleased to make. The gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Taylor. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Doughton. And the gentleman from New York, Mr. Snell. Gentleman from Texas.
The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Lambert, but I can't locate him.
Clerk will report the resolution.
I've been looking for him. Resolved, Texas, Mr. Buchanan, for a while, that the clerk be instructed to inform the President of the United States that the House of Representatives has elected William B. Bankhead, a representative from the state of Alabama, Speaker, and South Trimble, a citizen of the state of Kentucky, Clerk of the House of Representatives of the 75th Congress.
Question is on the resolution. Members in favor of its adoption will say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is agreed to. Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Here's another one from Bank. What is that? This is another. What is floor leaders? Standing committee of the House of Representatives. Floor leaders. All right. That's putting in binding. Hold on. All right.
Clerk will report the resolution offered to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Buchanan.
Resolved that the Committee on Appropriations and the subcommittees thereof be authorized to sit during sessions and recesses of the 75th Congress.
Question is on the resolution. Members are in favor of its adoption will say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution is agreed to.
Mr. Speaker, I have for unanimous consent.
Gentleman from New York, Nora Toledo, the resolution. Clerk will report.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Broadcasting Company has been bringing you the opening session of the 75th Congress of the United States direct from the floor of the House of Representatives in the United States Capitol building in Washington. You've heard this morning the election of the new Speaker of the 75th Congress, the Honorable William B. Bankhead of Alabama. And you've also heard the entire proceedings as the new House organized itself for the busy days which are to follow. The balance of this opening session this afternoon will be routine, the adoption of resolutions calling for the fixing of the daily hour of meeting, probably at 12 o'clock, and a resolution adopting the rules under which they'll work, and such resolutions as that, and also those appointing the majority and minority members of standing committees, authorizing the printing and binding for committees of the House, and the session will be closed with resolutions expressing the profound sorrow of the House for those members who have died since the House last met some 6 months ago. This broadcast has come to you direct from the floor of the House of Representatives in the Capitol building in Washington through the National Broadcasting Company.